I hit him in the head and said, "Cry your ass." If we help him, the group at the door won't even let us out of the supermarket. As expected, after walking along the wall for a distance, the woman's cursed heart came from behind. When I returned home, I threw the raincoat I had taken off into my sister's hand and plunged into the room. Even the clothes that had soaked through my body wouldn't dry anymore. If it kept raining like this, we would soon not even have to change our clothes. After dinner, we repackaged the rice and wrapped it in paper towels. Dried chili peppers and star anise were placed inside, saying they were insect-proof. The 2 bags of rice we bought this time are enough for the 3 of us to eat for over 2 months, but I think it's still not enough, so we have to go out again in a few days. We also need to buy 2 more cans of gas as a backup for our lives, and the candles are burning too fast. It seems like the burst rain won't stop. It has been raining continuously for so many days, but it's still so fierce. The street has almost turned into a nuclear tunnel, rushing down with a roar, disrupting our biological clocks. Even the days, nights, months, and days are indistinguishable. And now the only entertainment activity is playing cards. In the middle of the night, my sister had a fever. I searched through all the medicines at home and found that there were no antiviral cold medicine or fever-reducing patches. It seems that although I bought a lot of medicine last time, I forgot the most important, cold medicine. Fortunately, my sister only had a cold and fever, and it didn't take 2 days to recover. However, my heart was in my throat because I suddenly remembered last year, when I stopped in Europe. It is said that many cases of illness and death are mostly caused by cold and diarrhea. Cold colds can heal themselves, but influenza is almost impossible because influenza is a viral cold. But this time, I dare not let my sister and my mother go out together because it has been raining for many days. I dare not guarantee whether there are different minded criminals outside who suddenly appear to rot like last time. On October 3, 2023, the ETH day of the heavy rainstorm power outage, the rain and snow seemed to keep going. On the 9th day, we went out to buy medicine, but the officials suddenly arranged many armed personnel to maintain order, and asked everyone to stay away from the house. It was said that there would be more super typhoon and rainstorm in the next 2 days. With official intervention, there has been much less chaos on the street. According to officials in the tourism industry, almost all police and military forces have been arranged to provide disaster relief. Downstream, the downstream flood have caused many deaths, but he is not aware of the specific scope of the impact of this solar storm. He only heard from the leaders above that although it is serious, it has not yet reached an uncontrollable situation. This is the best news so far, and it seems that the authorities have not abandoned us. But it has been half a month since the power outage and water outage, and many families without prepared supplies have encountered difficulties. They lack natural gas, cannot leave, candles, lighting, food, and even hope to have enough. Many people cannot understand what this situation means. Imagine if you were trapped now. The food at home is enough for you to survive for a few days. This situation persisted until the incident occurred. When checking out, the cashier struggled to use rough paper to calculate, because many people have forgotten how to use arithmetic in the field of mobile phones. In addition, the biggest drawback of such shopping malls is that the cashier does not know the price of the good at all. Some large items have items that are not marked with a price, and the cashier says as much as they want. However, this primitive buying and selling method has dispelled a lot of the terrifying scene just now. My sister and my mother's expressions have finally recovered a bit. After loading the little girl into the backpack, we each force a bag of rice out of the supermarket. When leaving the mall, there will be a buffer channel, where teammates place some goods on the left and right shelves, but now only empty shelves are left. I walked in this 2-meter-long passage and saw a woman sitting at the door, constantly looking inside. With a look of admiration, I put my sister to the center, and walked on the side close to this woman. The woman hesitated for a moment and then said she still put her child to her feet. Sorry, there's really no other way. We passed by here from outside, but we got separated from the child's father, and now we don't even have a place to live. I just saw that you bought quite a lot of things. I don't have any other intention, but could you please lend me a few hundred yuan for the sake of the children so that I can pledge my ID card and phone to you? Please do me a favor. The child has not eaten for several days, and as he speaks, the others sitting at the door are also looking towards him. I noticed that most of the people sitting at the door don't have money. Of course, it is not that they're poor, but that they don't have any traps. So when women talk about borrowing money, there's a hopeful person in their eyes. A penny can't beat a farmer. That's what the farmer said. In the past, in a corner of this city, there was a big boss with millions of dollars, whose evil eyes shone blue. Sorry, our cash has been used up by these things. Speechless. The woman's face looked a bit ugly. I continued in a firm voice. It won't rain for a few days, and I believe someone will come to help you soon. The woman clearly watched us by that. Thanks, but now I don't want to take out any closer to them. Tears are streaming down my face. My phone is completely broken, and the bank can't withdraw money. I'm really at a loss, and my child has caught a cold, and I can't even afford medicine. Looking at this poor woman, my sister's eyes are also wet. I really want to help you, but we can't do anything. Why don't you ask the store owner for credit? She should be willing to help you. After I finished speaking, I pulled them away, and the woman suddenly burst into tears. Please, I really have no other choice. If this continues, the child will starve to death in a few days. I looked coldly at this child and the woman who was selling poorly on the street. If you continue to pester me, don't blame me for being impolite. I knew these people were not good people. When I entered the mall, I discovered that there was originally a 2-meter-long buffer passage at the entrance of the mall, which was originally used to store goods. Now it has been completely cleaned up for 2 reasons. Firstly, the boss specifically cleaned it up for these homeless people to live in. Encountering the houses and garbage left inside also indicates that there have indeed been people living there. Secondly, these people are now being driven outside the door, indicating that they have had conflicts with the store owner and have been driven out. After speaking, I took out the fruit knife from my pocket and placed it in front of him. The woman looked at the scissors and quickly pulled the child back, looking at us reluctantly as we left. After walking a few meters, my sister couldn't bear to look back, but it wasn't how much he sympathized with that woman and child. It's just that the apocalyptic scene made him feel very sad. The hospital does have diesel generators, but the power of the generators cannot maintain the normal state of medical equipment. Moreover, solar storms have caused damage to many electrical equipment, coupled with frequent disasters such as flood and mudslides. And the news of many deaths in the hospital is probably true. That is to say, for us, for some people, the days of power outage and card play may be equivalent to the end of the world. Leaving Portage, many shops on Nanman Street are now closed or current. It is a half-size shopping mall at the head of Nanman West Street. My sister suddenly pointed across the street and said, "There's a baby stroller over there. Shall we take it and load it?" Our main purchase this time is rice, which is very heavy and there is nothing to load at home. If we had a baby stroller, it would have saved us a lot of effort. We thought of crossing the road with the baby stroller, as the wind was too strong in the middle, and once we left the wall, our lives would be in danger. The rainstorm clattered at the bottom of the water, and the sandboard was slapped by the rain. We moved to the big trash can and flipped the stroller over and pushed it up. Suddenly, Wu Jie saw the thing inside the stroller, and let out a scream of fear. She instinctively withdrew, and pulled the rope connecting the 3 of us out. As soon as the strong wind blew, the 3 of us were thrown out until we hit a wall. I grabbed the anti-theft window on the wall and stopped. We were like a rotten leaf in the strong wind, unable to control our bodies at all. A baby soaked wet and swollen appeared under the stroller, and there seemed to be no bodies of other adults nearby. He was either blown over from a distance, or the adults pushing him also suffered together. I have long heard that many people did not return home in time due to traffic obstacles on the road, but I didn't expect it to appear in this way before my eyes. I picked them up, and almost ran for their lives before leaving, heading towards the mall. The sign of this shopping mall is about 10 square meters of glass, which can also be used enough to block the rain. There were at least 10 people switched into the area at this point. These people should be outsiders swept here by the typhoon, either because there was no cash to stay in the hotel, or because the hotel was overcrowded, and there was no place to stay with the money. I glanced at them and the caregiver, my sister, and my mother entered the mall. Due to the misleading nature of online novels, what I initially hoarded were snacks such as bread, instant noodles, and canned goods. The reality was that these items couldn't fill my stomach in the end, and by less than a week, they had already consumed 1/3. Before entering the supermarket, we were asked to take off our raincoats and coats because he was wet all over and suffered the glare of the security guard. When shopping, the security guard held a candle and kept following behind us, staring at us. Although understandable, it was always a bit awkward. We have a clear division of labor and started purchasing according to the list I prepared. Rice, noodles, and pickled vegetables are the top choices. I also wanted to stock up on some candles, but the security guard informed me that the candles are limited. Each household can only buy 5 candles. In addition, I also bought some paper towels and disinfectants because after the watering, the washing tank is used up. We will have to use rainwater or kettle water. I also saw a young couple holding a lot of garbage bags in the mall. I was curious about what garbage bags could be used for in this situation. After thinking about it, besides being able to hold garbage bags should also be able to pack items independently, because the air is too humid and the things in the wardrobe are almost moldy. If clean clothes are placed in separate packaging, it should be placed inside to avoid getting damp. In addition, rice and food are also easy to stir fry, especially since the bags of rice are not completely sealed and can be easily filled with water. If you don't want the rice to overflow, it's best to take it out and separately pack it into rocks. Here, I also took many rolls of garbage bags, as well as a lot of tin foil, cling film, and disposable chopsticks. I always felt that it might be useful. Besides, we didn't buy anything else. Many people, like me before, still choose food such as instant noodles and bread in their homes. When I passed by the instant noodle area, the shelf was mostly empty. We bypassed snacks and purchased a large amount of noodles, because just those 2 bags of 50 pounds of rice were enough to eat for 2 months. The remaining instant noodles in the entire mall may not have lasted that long, and the pickled vegetables on the shelves were almost wiped out by us. This is definitely the most authentic apocalyptic survival novel of this year, with no space, no rebirth, only an anatomy of the human heart. In the past 4 or 5 days of power outage, we have already eaten a lot of food, and these things are not enough to eat at all. At the critical moment, it is still rice that can manage to be full. Otherwise, the more hungry we become in this environment, the more we want to eat, which will create a vicious cycle. In addition, the biscuits, ham sausages, and canned food I bought can only be used as snacks. The only useful thing is ham breast biscuit, but they will only be consumed in a special restaurant this summer. If they are truly a staple food, most people will have nausea after eating them for 2 or 3 days. Also, if you eat too much instant noodles, you may vomit. Didn't you buy a large pile of instant noodles and only find out that you lost half of them within a few days? A bag of instant noodles has 5 packs. Even if I buy 10 packs, it is only 50 packs. According to the amount of 2 servings per day for 3 people, I can only eat them for 8 days. If I want to eat them for 2 months, 360 packs are needed for 60 days, and 1080 packs are needed for 6 months. I'm afraid only lunatics would hold so many instant noodles at home. After much thought, I found that the only thing that is the most durable to eat is rice, which is cheap, affordable, and versatile, and what is displayed is pickled vegetables. On September 30th, I sorted out the remaining food, including 40 bottles of light mineral water, 6 boxes of yogurt, 15 cans of canned lunch meat, and 5 cans of canned beans and fish. There are 68 buns, about 80 loose buns, 8 hand-torn buns, 32 packs of instant noodles with various flavors, and a pile of 788 snacks. The snacks we buy go far beyond this, but we have eaten a lot these days. These things pile up together and look like a big pile, but it's not like this when it comes to the Chinese New Year. I should concentrate on purchasing durable food such as rice, noodles, pickled vegetables, and wheat, and also need to buy some ginger that can drive away the cold. The current weather is too humid, and the floor is prone to boiling people in and out every morning. In this environment, if you don't take more precautions, you will have to reduce your resistance and lead to the risk of disease. Although the cold powder in the pile of medicine I bought is not much, it's best to drink more ginger tea. After determining what needs to be purchased, the three of us have decided to go out and purchase together tomorrow. Actually, there is no concept of time anymore. After sleeping, the typhoon is still raging. I don't want to call Vichy with me, but Aunt Liuping won't let him go out. Although it was raining heavily outside, the supermarket was still open. In fact, we can completely purchase from several convenience stores in Wei, but firstly, the convenience store is not complete, and secondly, as a small supermarket, it can play a role when it is really needed. I am unwilling to engage in such internal friction behavior. We walked out with shopping bags and backpacks in our arms. Due to nearly a week of continuous rainfall, and a super typhoon outside, there were almost no people on the street. We need to lean against the wall and move carefully to ensure my own safety. Because I had already planned to get wet all over my body, yet didn't deliberately take shelter from the rain, mainly to avoid it. Although we don't have access to external information, it's not difficult for neighbors to pass information across the street. It is said that many places have been flooded due to the rain, and most of the police force has been deployed to flood and rescue water. The police are not completely absent from safety issues in the city, and occasionally send people to ride bicycles, and use large speakers to shuttle through small alleys, reminding people to stay at home and not go out. In addition, there are many armed forces in the bank, because there are too many people waiting outside to withdraw cash, but the bank's cash is actually in the treasury. In this situation, the cash in the treasury cannot be transported to the relevant branches in a timely manner. In fact, even if we have enough time, there are not so many gas restrictions to be used for storage. This is a dead cycle. If the problem persists for too long, it cannot be solved, and the armed forces are unable to control so many people who have fled. It is said that due to a sudden power outage, many people have died in the hospital.